Hi everyone, this is Rick with RKF Search Results, and I'm going to be moving forward with doing videos on a more regular basis, possibly every day, maybe some days, a couple of them a day. There's a lot of people that may not realize with WordPress, I just learned today, or actually was updated today, that right now the number of websites that are using WordPress are just about 30% of all websites, not just CMS. When I say CMS, that stands for Content Management System, and that's what WordPress is a content management system. There's a few others out there that do it as well. However, WordPress has a couple of different things over most of the other CMSs out there. The first thing is Google loves it. There's some people who will argue that. However, Matt Cutts, who used to be with Google, used to go to the or be at, didn't go, he was at WordCamp. WordCamp is a convention that they hold. They have several of them throughout the year in different parts of the world, which is basically conferences having to do with WordPress. And Matt Cutts, who used to be with Google, was the one who said that Google loves, in fact, Google loves WordPress. See, Google has their own blog called Blogger, and he opted to do his on WordPress because it gave him a lot more flexibility. Now, I refer to a blog. WordPress initially was just a blog. That's how it started out. And then it wasn't too long after that. I'm not sure what the exact history is, but then it expanded to be a regular platform for web development, website development, and so that's why it's gotten so big. One is the ease of getting indexed on Google, although that's changed a bit, and so you have to add a few things to it, but it has by default a couple of key things which I'll mention. I don't know if I'll mention in this video because I had a couple of things I wanted to go through, but in essence it has some built-in SEO functionality. It's also good to use a plugin. The biggest one is Yoast, Y-O-A-S-T, which I haven't put on here yet because I just literally installed this. What I'll probably do next is I'll do another video about how to install it manually. One of my pet peeves, because I experienced the other way, was whenever I would install a site, I would go on the server and they would have an automatic install for WordPress. Most every host does that. They got WordPress, they got for Joomla, they have for there's a couple others. That Joomla is the one that comes to mind the most. There's another one that's a bigger one, but they've got these automatic install. It's what they call one-click install. Some of these one-click installs are better than others. What I did discover when I was doing it a number of years back was whenever I would go to do updates, like update plugins, you notice I got updates here and plugins here. Plugins add featureability, but I'm getting ahead of myself. With the plugins, I would select what plugins I want to put on. Plugins are add-on functionality that make it very easy to help with functionality or cosmetics, design. Mostly when I say design, like a page builder, and I'll get into that later, but basically the page builder helps to make it easier to put a site together using WordPress, because using the default editor is a bit on the limiting side. It'll let you do pretty good, but one in particular that I like is Elementor. It's just gotten very popular. In any case, with these plugins you put in, they need to be updated, as does WordPress need to be updated whenever there's alerts. That first here shows needs an update, and I'll go ahead and click on that, and it shows that Akismet, which is a spam anti-spamming tool, as it says, anti-spam, needs to be updated right now. Actually, it needs to be set up. There's a few other things involved with that, and there's the same thing here. Plugins. Okay. The other thing is Hello Dolly. I always take that up, but that's what it's referring to. Is that this needs to be updated or set up. Actually, and I always take this out. Hello Dolly. Anyway, again, I'm divulging. The other aspect to the plugins is whenever you do the updates. Generally, they should go fine. However, if there's something that's not quite right, which I've experienced a number of times, it can crash. And a lot of people are afraid of doing updates because they are afraid of it crashing. And to be honest, I've experienced that. And I came to realize the reason it was doing that was because of the installation that I used, which was the one-click install. Now, not all one-click installs are created equal. Some will allow you to do some specialty items as you're installing that will make it more stable. But I don't know, how many years ago was that? Probably 5 now. Once I learned how to do the manual install, which isn't really that complicated, but I was getting confused between the database name and the username and the proper way of typing that, and it frustrated me. So I said I'll just use the one-click install. But once I had enough of these sites crash on me, and then I had to go and fix it. It was a pain in the butt, and I didn't want to deal with that anymore. So I went ahead and so basically the long and the short of it, or just the short of it, is that I've discovered that doing it manually isn't that complicated, and it gives you the flexibility to do things in a better, more secure, and more stable way. So that's what I do. I do the manual, and I'll be doing a video on doing it manually. So here you have the dashboard, which is not what we're looking at now because I went to the plugins section, and there's the dashboard. And it's got a lot of stuff in here, but to be honest with you, when you look at this, it looks like there's a lot, and there kind of is, but you know what? I usually don't pay attention to any of it, or at least most of it, because everything that I need on here, I add. For the most part, I go to plugins, and I go to add new, and the first plugin I usually put in, well, one of the first anyway, is, well, there's a few of them. One of them is activity log, ACTIVITY. The purpose for this plugin is that it gives a report, I should put log, LOG. It gives you a record. I usually use this one, I believe is the one I use. And then I'll put the thing right over here. The cool part about it is, originally I came across the site, and that's one of the things when I do take over a new site. I see plugins that they use, and sometimes I learn about plugins that I had no idea about. This is one of them. So I started using it all the time because it shows, especially it's handy if you have more than one person logging in as an admin and making changes. Then you can see everything that was done. Plus, even if it's just me, I've been putting this on every site that I do now, because if I want to look back and see what I did and when I did it, the log is there to show me. Now there's other methods of doing it too, but I find that to be very handy. So I do that, and then another one I do is Updraft, which is a archiving for when you want to back up your site. Updraft, UPDRAFT, and that's it here. I always put that on. I find it to be the best backup plugin. There are others. There's another one I used to use, I can't remember the name, Duplicator. I used to use Duplicator. And I ran into problems with Duplicator when the sites got to be kind of large. And they weren't necessarily huge, but I was running into space problems with it. The amount of space it was taking up on the hard drive of the server was causing a problem. And so I said, you know what? I had learned of this one before, but it seemed kind of complicated. Yes, I get intimidated sometimes as well, even though I'm very much of a techie guy. Some things intimidate me, what can I tell you? Even if it's technical. In the case of Updraft, the way it was done, I was like, okay. And I moved on for the time. Then I did some more checking on it, and I saw somebody else did a video about how to use it, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's not so bad after all. It turns out it's great for the most part. One thing that it does have a little bit of hiccup with from time to time is if you have a lot of images, that can run into a problem, especially if the images are bigger than they should be. Keep your image size smaller, I can do another video on that. As I'm talking and you think of things, as I say something and you come up with things that you want to ask about, please do. One of the things, I have my own ideas of what I want to put in, because it's things that I've seen and things I've experienced that other people experience as well. And therefore I use that as a reference for what I decide to do a video on. If you want to see something in particular, please let me know. One of the things about WordPress videos, there's a few people out there who do really, really good ones. There's one in particular this one particular author that I think he does a really great job. He's called WP Crafter. His name is Adam. I may put a link to his stuff because I find his stuff really good. He's among the best that I've seen. There's a few others. Some of them are, yeah. And others, sometimes you'll have someone doing a video, and sometimes their accent throws me and it's hard to follow, and not everybody is a natural teacher. I actually happen to be kind of a natural teacher. Adam certainly is, but so everybody's got their own style and appeal to different people. So yeah, so I have my way of doing things. I welcome any criticism as well as I move along with this. I wanted to keep this short. It's right now, I've been at it about 11 minutes, so perhaps I'll let it go for another 4 minutes or so, not too much longer than that. Oh, where'd my clock go? Oh, I see what happened. Okay. You can probably see what I just did too, huh? Anyway, I didn't think about that. Anyway, so yeah, I've got my, I guess you can see my recorder here. If you want to do videos, I highly recommend this recorder. It's ZD Soft video recorder. It's not expensive. It's like 40 bucks. And it's got some good features on it. Some that are closer to this other one out there that costs about 300 bucks. And because you can resize what you're doing and zoom in, and you can see as I'm moving around, there's a little highlighter thing going on. When you're recording, you don't see it, but I know it does that. And so, yeah. I think I'll go ahead and wrap it up because I'm running out of knowing what I want to say quickly. I don't want to make the video too long. So like I said, if there's any particular questions that you have, let me know. Also, please be sure and like the page and give it a thumbs up. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, maybe you're not ready, because this is kind of my first video. I've done others in the past, but it's been a long time. And what I want to do is grab a couple of them and redo them. Not so much redo them, but repurpose them and label them differently, because one of the things with videos that I need to haven't done before is using a custom thumbnail. I don't know if you know what that means. That's the little picture you see when you see it in YouTube, and the picture that's there, that's called a thumbnail. And so you can make this customized to get more attention. And so I'll probably do one for this, but that's where I'm at for now. Anyway, again, please contact me, give me your honest opinion of this particular video. I didn't really cover a whole lot, but the idea was just to reintroduce myself and be aware that I'm going to be making these videos, and want to get your feedback. I'll also be going on Twitter to be promoting them that way, and some with Facebook too, probably. And that's about it for now. So enjoy, and again, feedback, like it, and subscribe if you're ready. Some people say, oh, I love it already, but I don't know. So yeah, it would be great if you could do that, because I want to build this as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Have a great one.